Your audio. Let me test the sound.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Wait, talk more, though.
More?
Okay, yeah,
I'm
I know.
talking more.
Do you see this picture that somebody took?
The Andromeda one?
Yeah, this is yeah,
Mm-hmm.
M31 4.3. It was actually it would be Kuden in our stream. He took that.
That's awesome. Nice work. You need to, it's a tough one to get, as we saw with some of our star parties, because the core is so bright. So you have to be able to expose the outer reaches at one point and then expose the inner part at another point and then be able to merge the two. Are you like painting me into the screen? That's really funny.
I thought I was hoping you would notice that.
That is awesome. No, that's beautiful. That's wonderful work. So that's what you get when you spend more than 1 minute taking a picture of Andromeda.
Yeah, yeah. And some of this stuff, Skylias Ross. Pro transition. Thanks, guys. I
Yeah.
thought that was a nice reveal. Unraveling Fraser Cain. Yes.
That is awesome.
But yeah, so well, and you talk about a lot of this stuff in this book right here that I have right here. This kind of stuff. I was almost quicker, almost. I mean, I had to like actually do a full rotation.
Yeah. See, pro tip, when you write a book, always have your book handy.
Yeah, usually
Always.
Dr. Paul just keeps his like glued to his face.
Yeah. 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 Just like, that's interesting. Yeah, no, please. Let's definitely talk about space and stuff while I read this book.
What's with those bald guys in their books? I know.
We're compensating for
Absolutely.
something.
Yep. So when I write one, I'm not going to have an excuse.
I had heard that writing a book makes your hair grow back.
Oh.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened.
Oh, well. Yeah, so Fraser has a book. Yeah, he does.
I'll try other methods next, I guess.
This is true. Someone just said, your hair will fall out when you write a book by that logic.
Yeah, no, that's what actually happens is you tear your hair out.
I was only in it for the hair. Yeah, but it's great.
Yeah.
This book is absolutely wonderful. If you want to get even into just very, very, very rudimentary astrophotography, even if you don't want to go big and fancy and take long exposures and stuff.
But you will.
Yeah.
That is the inevitable
Yep.
outcome of anyone seriously getting into astrophotography. Is you just dream about bigger telescopes, faster exposures, more pixels on your CCD, and interesting filters. So it's really inevitable. It's a whole rabbit hole that you go down into. We've all, whatever you're into, you're going to spend the price of a car on your hobby.
Yep. I already won a second one, says Bill.
Yeah, see?
Hey, Michael, good to see you. Michael Mayer just joined, said, hey, Fraser, and hello, Skylias.
That RASA that we use, thanks to OPT, is sick. I'm actually wearing my OPT shirt.
Yeah, I
right
noticed
now.
you're sporting an OPT. I want an OPT t-shirt.
Yeah.
Astrophotographers drool over telescopes is, yeah. Oh, yeah. Telescopes
Yeah, no, you can absolutely spend as much as a car on your astrophotography gear. So no problem.
Yeah. See, I haven't done that, but I don't think I ever would, but I have friends, like all my friends do this. I mean, I my stuff is pretty rudimentary. It's really just nothing.
I mean, if you want to like just blow your friends' minds, get a $300 8-inch Dobsonian Newtonian refractor, set it up on your deck, be able to take it outside into the out onto the lawn when the planets are up in the sky or the moon is looking really cool, and you will really enjoy it. And then you can see some of the other brighter objects out there as well. Some of the the globular star clusters are nice. Some of the open star clusters look great. Some of the planetary nebulae look great. So there is either Ryan Nebula. So over the course of the year, there's probably say 20 or 30 objects that you can see, plus all the planets that look just great in an 8-inch Dobsonian. They're not that expensive. They're really easy to use. that is by far and as Bill Nash is saying, watching someone's mind blown
Oh yeah.
is the best thing. When you point it at Saturn and you go, okay, take a look, and then they look and they're just like, what? And they can't believe it. Then you know that you're sort of doing your part for science.
Yeah,
It's the best.
Saturn's really special though. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but I feel like that's a pretty common thing. I experienced that too the first time I saw Saturn through my own telescope. I don't even have an 8 inch. I have my Dobsonian's only 6.
Yeah.
But even then I have, I'll put like a Barlow lens on it. And it's pretty, it does the job. And so you can
Yeah.
still see Saturn in its rings.
Yeah.
Looking at the moon is pretty intense too. You don't want to look
Yeah.
at it when
Yeah.
it's super bright though.
And that's, I mean, I always recommend people get the binoculars first as
Yeah.
well, but even they're a little disappointing when you're wanting to see, like if you want to see Saturn through a telescope, you want a telescope that'll let you see Saturn, you want a telescope that's going to let you see the moons of Jupiter, then skip the binocular stage and just get the Dobsonian. But it's best to have both.
Yeah, and then
Think-
I got a Newtonian too. So I spent more on the second one than I did the first. The first was more just to, and Red Arm is gifting 10 subs right now.
Oh, nice.
10
Well,
tier 2.
then we don't have to
Yeah.
shamelessly promote your channel today.
Yeah, no, we don't. No.
I don't even see the countdown today. So you're no longer trying to get people to subscribe to your channel. You're beyond that, have you?
Yeah, no, we met the goal. Thanks a lot to Red Arm. We've had a few resubs, but Red Arm just did that. There was a whole bunch of tier 2. I'm sorry,
What is
I'm
a
stopping.
tier
It's
2?
amazing.
What's the difference between
So there's
tier-
different levels that people can subscribe. So they can do just the $4.99, or they can do, I forget what the tier 2 is. I know it's right in between that and gosh, my brain's not even 10, and then the next one's 20, I believe, right?
Right. Wow, that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, so that's really insane. Mama's getting a new telescope. No, in fact, that's the other thing. So we will be trying to raise money. I need to get a second computer
Yeah.
because I can't do a lot of my space simulations, and especially with our virtual star parties. So it's great having the monitors. I got the monitors now, but I will have to probably do a goal for getting a second computer so that.
And I'm like, I got nothing to do now. So
Yeah.
so it's going to be star parties all the time, whenever you want.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. And we've got the 2 telescopes now, so I can operate both California and Texas at the same time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and 2 different scopes, 2 different fields of view. The Texas one has a whole bunch of interesting filters that I haven't completely figured out how to use yet, but we can do a lot of narrowband filters to make the really pretty nebulae. And then the one in California has has that Rasa instrument. So we've got, and of course Dustin is mad at work planning more of these things. So the goal right now is to get a planetary rig rolling as well.
Yeah.
In time for we've got the lunar eclipse. We're going to live stream the lunar eclipse.
And who are you going to be doing that with?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Dustin is in to provide some gear.
Right.
It's a bit tricky to do like a really good job of it because the moon is so bright. So in the beginning, when it's just normal moon time, full moon time, you want it just recording video at like a 60th of a second or a 100th of a second. But then when it switches into the actual blood moon portion, then you need exposures that are about a second long. So you need to be able to switch between those 2 versions. So it's I need to figure out a plan to do what I want, because I mean a lot of people, they go into this going like, we're going to live stream the eclipse, but they don't change that exposure, and so you just get it goes from this really nice full moon to this really dim red moon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too small. So I've got in my plan, I want like the moon to fill the entire screen, and as we start to get the chomps taken out of it, we properly change the exposure to keep it looking as good as possible all the way through the eclipse. So anyway, I have to nerd out with Dustin and his team to figure out how we can do the best possible job of this. But because I mean, the last time we did this with Corey Schmitz in South Africa in the summertime, we had 1 million people drop in and watch our stream.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that because we stopped in too for a bit. We watched for a bit from my channel.
Yeah.
And and I'd love to do that here as well. So if you are going to be doing that on YouTube, I would love to, like use, like have you guys in the background and then use that for like
Sure.
the gathering the actual eclipse. Cause I'm not going to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's what we'll do is like provide a raw stream that people can use. And then we'll also provide some commentary over top of it. And so that way you're not trying to talk over top of us, but you got a raw stream that you can use. Anyway, so I got to figure this out. I got to figure it out.
Yeah. 1 million with Twitch, you'd crash those numbers. I know.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
it wasn't a million at the same time. It was a million total over the course of the stream. I think we had 17,000 was the most we had simultaneously.
Yeah.
And it was a gong show. I mean, you could just imagine 17,000 people just accidentally finding their way onto the live stream and just being idiots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Most people were being super nice.
Yep.
And then
Majority
there was a vocal few that were being total idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. The flat earthers and the moon hoaxers were just, having a field day.
And that's when you just
moderators.
And that's why I love having those emotes, is because
yeah,
it's just so good just to kind of, I don't know, it really, like, they're so hardcore about it. It just, I don't know. I find it funny.
I want to interview some.
I know.
Because I want to just get to the bottom of like, why do you care so much? Like, there is a whole lot of things out there that I don't think are real, and I don't care about them.
Right.
Right. And like, I don't even understand why a person takes the time out of their busy day to come and be crappy on a person's YouTube channel or Twitch stream. Right. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't have time to watch the things that I love. I definitely don't have time to watch the things that I hate.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like,
no, I think about it every now and again, but then I usually, in order to sort that out in my brain, I don't think they're usually adults.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a theory I have.
Yeah. So I think it would be fun for me. I don't know. I can imagine people like, oh, you shouldn't interview them. You're just going to get, people you're giving them
attention
or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But
no.
But no. I just want to like, why are you so mad?
Right.
What's this about? Right. Why are you so mad and you're so mean? Where's this coming from? And I would love to just have that conversation with some of these people. So anyway,
no, I'm with you on that. Like I've and people,
I think I could.
Yeah, people have said like, well, why would you give him attention? You're giving him a platform to speak on, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm curious, but it's hard to really sift through those that are just doing it to be like a contrarian type person. Yeah. As opposed to people that are authentically that. I think they had the Flat Earth Convention here last year, in November.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just due to like that would have been right after TwitchCon. So I couldn't attend that. Yeah. But that would have been interesting. I don't think they would have let me in, probably.
Well, Bill Nash has a great comment, right? Which is, you ask angry people if they're okay. And that's my go-to for getting them off the warpath. I think that's exactly right, which is anyone who feels the need to go somewhere and say nasty things to people can't be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you've got to be in pain or
it's usually
some kind of state of hurt that this is, and that this is what's causing you to lash out. And I just wonder, like, what are you going through that makes you feel that this is how you want to express yourself right now? If you're not a troll, right? But if you're a troll, then so anyway, I really like the Socratic method where you just kind of go like, why, what's this about, and why do you do this, and how do you feel about this, and what about that? You just let them answer. You just ask questions until they're done. So anyway, this is some part of my brain wants. No,
and it's a part that's really relevant to people that make this kind of content and have to interface with people.
Yeah,
random people. It's something that comes up. If you're being empathetic about it, there's probably some underlying factors. It's a thing that where people do that to feel better about themselves by putting other people down. That does something for them, even though it might be pretty short term. There's a lot of things. And actually, someone said that they're reading. CG, you said you're reading a book called The Death of Expertise. Kind of digs into this idea. That's interesting. I'm always interested in that kind of stuff too. Yeah,
So I find it fascinating. I would like to just spend some time just understanding, because I mean, all I do is I just ban people all day. I mean, I just like ban, you're banned, right?
Yep, I've been doing it more.
Yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
like, and a person writes this big, huge, angry screed in the comments, and I'm like, oh, that must have taken you a long time, band.
Yeah, no, I had one on one of our videos yesterday. I was looking through some YouTube comments, and I had one from someone commenting on you and I, and how we don't know anything, and it was long too, and I was just like, man, okay, well, that's not getting approved. Sorry.
Yeah, that must take you some time.
Yeah,
Bye.
like I don't have enough time to read the rest of it.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I got the gist. You're
yeah,
angry
uh,
and you're mean and goodbye.
right. So there's a question here: would a Dobsonian telescope work in the New York City metro area? There's tons
Oh
of
yeah,
light pollution here.
yeah. So I mean, even if you live in a fairly light polluted place like New York City, you could be in downtown Manhattan and you're still going to see beautiful pictures of, or you're going to be able to see the planets, the moon, some of the brighter objects, no problem. It's the fainter objects that the light pollution kills. And so I wouldn't get any of that. I wouldn't go beyond a Dobsonian if you're going to live, say, in a place like New York. But the Dobsonian will let you see the things that you can see really well, almost as well as a person who is, in darker skies.
Yeah, and there's some places that you can travel to in New York too that are pretty open, right? I mean, New York's actually pretty big.
It is, but it's about a 2-hour drive. There's some mountains to the northwest that you can go and get pretty dark skies. And so if you're serious, and I talk to people who are, they're always saying like, oh, I've never seen the Milky Way before. But even if you live on the East Coast, there are places you can go within a couple of hours where you can get some dark skies. Go to Dark Sky Finder. Just do a search for the Dark Sky Finder,
I think we
and
have that. Is it Dark Sky? I think.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, so go to that map, find a location that is blue, and go there. For me, like where I live in a green area in the Dark Sky Finder, and even that is still, I see the Milky Way from at night here. So go somewhere green, somewhere blue, and you should be okay.
Yeah. I have a 10-inch Dobsonian is 100% aspect worth getting. I have 63% now. 100% are around. Maybe I'm. Am I? Is this making sense?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Um, but so sorry, one scarred eagle. So no rooftop telescoping in New York City. You totally can. Like I said, it's a great view from the top of the rooftop there. You'll see the planets. But and that's not entirely true. You can get a narrow band if you want to do astrophotography and you want to do it from Manhattan. You just want to get a narrow band filter, and then the narrow band filter cuts out all the light pollution. And so a lot of times you can be taking some of the pictures that actually there's an astronomer that I'm going to be featuring on my Instagram channel in a couple of days who does all his work from Manhattan, takes all his pictures. He's like an investment banker and
Oh,
lives in the
really?
and has this penthouse and has a big telescope, and he takes pictures right from Manhattan. You just need you can't take the visible light pictures that we do, like the stuff that we do with the Rasa, but you can do with narrowband filters, no problem, and get pretty amazing pictures. So there you go. So Kuden is saying, I use an LPS filter, right? My rosette picture was done with LPS.
Yeah.
So
And I have that over here too.
I mean, I'm assuming you were using with the rosette one, you're probably using like, I'm just gonna take a look here, like hydrogen alpha.
I have it on my screen right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're using like a hydrogen alpha filter to get, to only see that very narrow band of light, and essentially doesn't show the light pollution. It just shows the okay. So it's just a light pollution. Yeah, but essentially it's focusing on a very specific wavelengths of light that are only visible, and the light pollution doesn't happen. So you can definitely do it. It's just not as it's still not as great as being in dark skies, but still it's not the end of the world. And so a lot of astronomers live in light polluted areas. They use these narrow band filters and they do stunning pictures.
And Silent, you asked, why can't we see Pluto through a telescope?
You can.
You have to know where to look.
Yeah, you just have to know, and all you're going to see is a dot.
Yeah, it's not going to be that exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a little dot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, that is this dot and not that dot? You know?
I'm going to uni and I'm in a yellow area. You still can do this, even if you are, if you're.
Yeah. You just need to plan a little bit more, and you just find a green or a blue area that's kind of near to you. Plan a night with your friends, especially during a meteor shower, and take some hot chocolate and go see the Milky Way, and just spend the night somewhere, be it a park. Not right now though. Apparently they're not pretty right now. But
are you talking about Joshua Tree?
Anywhere. Your entire park system is a
mess
right now.
Well, Joshua Tree, where we're supposed to have the All-Stars party.
Yeah, it's locked up right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be in Joshua Tree. We're going to be close to Joshua Tree, and then we're going to go to Joshua Tree during some of the time. But yeah, no, I'm sure your government won't be shut down in 5 months.
Yeah, that would be a real problem. That'd be a real problem.
Yeah. But I think, man, so I'm about to go on a rant here.
No, go ahead. Absolutely.
Well, so this is the kind of stuff, right? Like, we live in this world of instant, like, telephone gratification, where you can pick up your phone or turn on Twitch and watch a show.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the world belongs to the organizers. And so if you're the kind of person who's like, I want to see the Milky Way, I want my friends to see the Milky Way, I want to give all of my friends or my children or my parents an experience that they're going to remember, then you need to do a bunch of planning. You need to go to the Dark Sky Finder. You need to find a location. You need to pick a time. The weather could suck, right? When you get out there, you need to organize a bunch of your friends, and you need to get them to be willing to come with you, to potentially to suck, to terrible weather, to be able to see something that you hope is going to provide them with a meaningful experience.
Exactly.
And for a lot of people, it's like too many things to queue up, and it's easier to just watch Twitch or see what's happening on Twitter. And so highly recommend, be the person who organizes fun experiences for your friends and family, and you will just be the most beloved person in the world.
Yeah, or the most hated.
Well, then those are bad friends and family, right? Because if,
right. Well, with telescope stuff, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like having somebody go out and take you to see things, like I can see the Milky Way where I'm at, because you know where I'm at. I'm pretty close to the mountains, and it's pretty dark here. But yeah, like when you actually know that's what you're looking at, and that experience in and of itself, I haven't found a person yet that has thought that was weird, or, more when I talk about my space stuff at parties, that doesn't always go over too well.
Really? I know. I find always everybody's like, I love space. I'm like, I know, everybody does.
Yeah, and then I try to provide them with a mind-blowing fact. The star that you're looking at could potentially not be there anymore, and then I can't handle this, my brain, and then that's what happens mostly. But with a telescope, that's completely different. That's somebody else's experience in and of themselves, seeing when you see Jupiter and the Galilean moons.
And it's such an easy experience to give people, right? When you take your telescope out and set it up on the sidewalk and let people look through it to see things. Like that is another level of fun. But just these kinds of experiences, right? Like, it's just we were in Hawaii, and I had a plan for adventure that I wanted to go on with my family, and I just let them know in advance, like we're going to experience, because there was fresh lava flows on the Big Island, and so it had changed all of the road systems and things were blocked off, and I wanted to just figure out what we could see. And I said, like this adventure could be everywhere from, we get a chance to see some totally brand new fresh lava pouring into the sea and the strange structures and all of that, and we zip around and walk out on it. Or it could be, we just hit a bunch of roadblocks and police tell us to go back until we waste our entire day. I offer you an adventure somewhere in between those two options. And fortunately, it turned out to be the former, where we got to see all kinds of cool stuff. But it's just like sometimes you just got to go out and you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that is better than hanging out at home, and which is how that's gonna turn out. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Someone said,
go do
hi,
some
maybe
fun stuff.
anyone can advise telescope for $1,000.
10-inch Dobsonian or like a 6-inch refractor by Meade or Celestron with a go-to scope. But I wouldn't spend $1,000 and buy a telescope. I would spend $400 and buy a 8-inch Dobsonian.
Yeah,
Or depending on what it is where you live.
Yeah, there's Oceanside Photo and Telescope too. They have a bunch of stuff on their website. It's that first link, and also Bill Nash just gave it to you.
Yeah, because like I just feel like you spend $1,000 on a telescope, you're buying the one that's going to take more, that's more technically complicated and is going to require a little bit more of a commitment to get the thing, to even just get the thing pointing in the right direction. And when you really want to do is just like, look, Jupiter's in the sky, let's take a look. And then you take your Dobsonian and just grab it by the front and yank it over to point at Jupiter, and you're good to go. So
yeah,
yeah,
a lot of the
for
stuff that gets
8-inch
pretty.
Dobsonian and then save your money. And then if you're into it, then buy more.
Yeah, because I mean, again, my telescopes are manual.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to spend more money to have, that automation where you can choose an object, which isn't, I would suggest that to people, but I chose to go manual just so I could learn the sky myself.
This one behind me is fully automatic and I never use it.
Yeah. I like to learn where things are.
Yeah.
The best thing I bought for my Dobbs was a green laser. Oh yeah, no, I have one of those too. I have a laser, for the eyepiece. Yeah, so you can, Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, Bill. I'll pass it along.
I'm trying to see. I remember there was some project years ago that you could order for free a photo from given coordinates, but the cues were huge. Oh, of the sky? That'd be interesting. But yeah, this book, seriously, guys, if you guys are interested in this, I totally recommend this book. This book goes over this from anywhere if you're just starting off to people that might know more. It goes over how to look at certain objects, things that are like there it is. See, yep. He's always gonna be better at it. The moon versus looking at how you would actually look at the eclipse.
I need some kind of book holster. Yeah.
I know you do. Just like right behind you. You need like a pedestal.
I do have a pile of them over there.
What do you think about Planet 9? Somebody just asked.
It's an interesting mystery. We should totally find it. Yeah. With some of the new dwarf planets that are being found, it's more opportunity to find this planet out there. I know Mike Brown, his team, the ones that are proposing that it's out there, they just did an observing run for Planet 9 from Hawaii. They were using the Gemini telescope,
I think so.
And so, but he hasn't said he found it yet. So it's good. We're really probably not going to find it until the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope gets online, because it's going to be looking at the whole sky and finding stuff that are outside of the plane of the ecliptic, and that's what it's probably going to take.
Yeah, the LSST guys, that's what he's referring to. What are the Chinese doing on the other side of the moon?
They are exploring it. The Chang'e 4 spacecraft lander has landed on the far side of the moon, down at the south, near the south basin of the moon, and it has deployed the U-2 rover to bust around the surface of the moon. And one of the things that's really fascinating is this is a part of the moon where you have these permanently shadowed craters, so places where there can be water ice that is left over for hundreds of millions of years. And in theory, the the rover might be able to actually see them. But it's an amazing technical accomplishment too, because they are having to set up this transmitter that relays all of the information to and from the rover and the lander back to Earth. So it's a really exciting mission. I'm super stoked that the Chinese have been able to do this.
Absolutely. Me too. What should Planet 9 be named?
Well, yeah, good question.
I have no idea.
Let's hope the IAU is very careful about it. If they do find it, come up with a name for it.
Why don't we send a probe to orbit Uranus or Neptune?
We should. I think it is the top priority of places that we should go back to. All we have is those couple of pictures from Voyager 2 as it made its flyby back in the 1980s. It is time to go back. And there's a bunch of really interesting proposals. I did a video about this maybe about a year and a half ago, about one proposal that had been done, and now there's another one that's been put together. Ideas of either a single flyby mission or a double flyby mission or a flyby orbiter mission. So there's a bunch of ideas in the works, and now there's much more powerful rockets coming online. So the Space Launch System would be the perfect machine to send a spacecraft to Uranus or Neptune. Falcon Heavy could do it as well, a Delta IV Heavy. So there's a lot of options, and you really want to get out there.
Could the moon maintain a satellite in orbit? Yeah, we have the lunar reconnaissance.
Yeah, the lunar reconnaissance orbiter has been there for quite a while. It's a little tougher to have things be in orbit around the moon because of the interaction with the Earth's gravity. And so when spacecraft are very low, they tend to crash into the moon. So they can't be there for a long time. But if they're a little bit higher, then they can. But I mean, you're asking, can moons have moons? And theoretically, yes, not our moon, but other, Neptune could have a moon that could have moons. So
asteroids can have moons.
But can asteroids' moons have moons? That's the question.
So there's another good question here. Where was it? FRB, so fast radio bursts. Any guesses, Fraser?
No guesses. In fact, this is the next video that I'm working on right now. I did a video on fast radio bursts about a year and a half ago, and it was just like, here's a really cool mystery. But it is also a fairly approachable mystery, and because it's not like dark matter, dark energy, where really astronomers are like, I don't know, right? With fast radio bursts, there's something going on there, and the new Chime Observatory, which is this big observatory out of British Columbia, actually has been built, just came online, and within a very short period of time found a whole bunch of these fast radio bursts, including one repeating fast radio burst. So we still don't know what they are, but there are a lot of interesting candidates. I mean, like something to do with black holes, something to do with neutron stars. It's really fascinating that you get this incredibly bright flash of only radio transmissions that is incredibly energetic, like far brighter than the sun, but it only lasts for a moment, and it mostly doesn't happen again. Every now and then now we've gotten two examples of a repeater. So these are like, what are they? Don't know. Probably has something to do with stars blowing up, interactions with black holes, neutron stars, star quakes on neutron stars, pulsars, things interacting with each other. Of course, the more extreme ideas are things like laser transmissions from interstellar civilizations, firing, blasting.
Be careful when
from world to world.
Yeah, when searching this on YouTube, guys, be careful.
Yeah,
there's a reason that we have Fraser on here. He'll tell you.
Space battles.
Same energy in 1 millisecond as the sun releases in a year.
Yeah. So it is a huge amount of energy, but weirdly only in the radio wave. Like, you wouldn't expect that amount of energy to only be in that one wavelength. You would expect a visible component to go along with it as well, like you see with a gamma ray burst. Right? You see a gamma ray burst, you get gamma radiation, X-ray radiation, visible light, infrared, radio signals. It's across the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Weird that you're getting this tiny little burp from only one place, but it feel, now that the chime is operated for even just a little bit, they think that there's 5,000 a day that are happening in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So the best kinds of scientific mysteries are the ones where you get lots and lots of data.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, they're going to have lots and lots of data. And then the idea will be, can we match any of these up with other events that we're seeing and get to this point where they can start to chase this one down. So it's like a much less frustrating mystery. Like if we think about dark matter, dark energy, they might not be solved in our lifetimes, but fast radio bursts, we might get an answer to that in the next 10 years because there's so much data out there. There's clearly some kind of physical phenomenon that's going on, and maybe this will be the way that we find them.
Yeah, Bill Nash says, speaking of radio, I asked this earlier, but it got missed. Have you ever slapped a radio antenna onto a tracking mount to listen to pulsars?
No. Sounds fun.
Yeah, I know. Bill, have you? I mean, that does sound very, very cool.
Yeah. There's some interesting projects. Like I think Instructables has some information on building, you can take an old satellite dish and put a radio receiver on it and use it as a radio telescope. So there's a lot of hobby projects that you can do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like the problem with a radio telescope is you have to use your imagination so much, right?
Oh,
When you
yeah.
use a regular telescope, you see these beautiful pictures of Saturn, or
Right. Radio astronomy is
Orion Nebula, or things
totally
like
different.
that. Yeah, and with the radio transmission, it's like, yes, there is a radio signal coming from this location. There is not a radio signal coming from that location. It's hard to get so inspired by it, but it's very important work, and all hail the radio astronomers out there.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that I got to do radio astronomy after I already had worked doing stuff at an observatory. So,
Yeah.
So it wasn't as bad. I wouldn't recommend it the other way around, or you might throw in the towel a little bit early.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it in the daytime, right?
Yeah,
like
you
there's a
can
lot of
with the
advantage.
sun.
You do it when there's clouds, you can point it
Yeah.
at the sun. Like it's all kinds of advantages to doing radio astronomy, but seeing pretty pictures is not one of them.
Right. Exactly.
Your resolution is one
Yeah.
pixel.
It's the ultimate UK
Yeah,
telescope. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why the Jodrell Bank is in the UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
No
Oh,
problem. You can get work done there.
Let's see. There was another question too, and I scrolled down.
Well, Kunin brings up doing transits.
Uh-huh.
So there's a video you might want to watch. There's a French YouTuber, and he shows you how to record transits of exoplanets using a relatively small telescope. So
I heard about something like this recently.
Yeah, so you can take essentially all of the information on transiting exoplanets is available online, and so you can find out when any one of the planets is going to transit its star from your perspective, and then you can point your telescope at the star, record the amount of light that's coming from the star, and then see the dip as the planet is passing in front of it, and you can be able to know that you just saw a planet. And it's kind of amazing that we didn't use this technique to find planets earlier, because in fact, with a 8-inch telescope and a CCD, you can confirm planet, which is, as an amateur, which is great.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. So recently, I don't know how I stumbled upon that, but I heard about this, that you can actually see transiting exoplanets.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Goodness saying, I'm going to try and discover one after I've practiced on the known ones. That's the key, right? Is finding the known ones when you've got an object that's going to transit every 30 days, and people already know that it's there, and then it's finding one that hasn't been found. Tess is probably going to beat you to the punch, though, right?
Yeah.
That's Tess's job, is to find them all.
Yep.
All the ones that we can find in a relatively close sphere of the Earth. So
yeah, it's like 200,000 stars or something, right?
That it's searching. Yeah, I don't know the total number, but I think the plan is for it to find 14,000 planets. including 10 Earth-sized worlds orbiting sun-like stars in the habitable zone.
You know, what would be a good video is the difference between Earth size, super Earth, Earth like,
Mm-hmm.
because those are all really different. I feel people might, when they hear super Earth, it's kind
It's
of
like better
clickbaity.
Earth.
Yeah, it's like it's a more massive Earth, but it's not quite the mass of, say, Uranus or Neptune, but it's definitely more massive.
I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah, I think because it's one of those things where I know people ask, they'll be like, "We found a new super Earth," and I'm like, "Do you know what that means?" But that's why we're here.
Yeah. But it's not a super Earth. I mean, it's a big Earth. It's a big super terrestrial, a heavy terrestrial planet. But a super Earth really makes you feel like it's a better place, like it's some kind of Gaia world.
Yeah,
Actually, it's not. It would
yeah.
be heavier and
It wouldn't be great
worse.
for us, huh? We don't need more mass.
No,
No.
no. You feel sad for the alien civilizations living on the super Earth, and they would have just the hardest time flying into space.
Yeah. Yeah, that escape velocity, higher gravity, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would look very different.
Yeah, but in theory, you still can do it. Like
Mhm.
the tyranny of the rocket equation still permits this. So even if you had double the escape velocity that you
Yep.
have on Earth, you could build, say, an Apollo rocket to launch a fairly tiny capsule into space. So they could still have a space program.
Yeah, exactly. How much higher is the gravity on a super Earth-ish planets? So it's going to be in between that of what we have with our ice giants.
Yeah.
So it's not as massive as, say, Uranus or Neptune, which are not as massive as Jupiter. So
Yeah, I mean, the radius and the density matter quite a bit. So if you have a world that is, say, has twice as much mass, then it will have, I think, like 1.5 times as much gravity
mhm.
because the radius is going to be bigger. So they all play off of each other to bring you a planet of varying characteristics.
Yeah. Wouldn't it screw up things like uh yeah, so what it would do to humans, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. I mean, space, again, remember, we're kind of designed, we're tailored to Earth. Humans are.
Yeah.
Throw us in another, a more massive planet, things are going to be different atmospheres. And that's the other thing. We don't really know the atmospheres of these planets that we're finding. And
Yep.
we'll have things like the James Webb Space Telescope, if it does ever launch.
Did you see my joke in the new video?
Which one?
Oh, the one that you just ran.
Oh yeah, where you said 3,000, the year 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was laughing at that. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it
I
feels
change the
like.
date now every time I mention when it's going to launch. I've gone everywhere from 1 billion years from now to the year 3000. So
I feel like you're gonna get it right somewhere.
well, I've also said that I've mentioned that sending a probe to Alpha Centauri
Uh-huh.
takes about 2.5 times as long as it's going to take for Half-Life 3 to come out. So, and a lot of people were quite excited because I had essentially confirmed a launch date of Half-Life 3 some point into the next 30,000 years or so.
A Doctor says, question for Fraser, and there was another one up there. I'm not going to miss it, guys. Given some more recent publications on super Earths, what do you think is more likely, that they would find a more like Earth on average, or closer to something akin to a miniature gas giant?
So it's going to be both. So you're going to have sub-Neptunes and super Earths. And the difference is really going to be what they're made out of. So you're going to have terrestrial planets that have much more mass than Earth, could have oceans, could have continents, weather, just horrible, crushing, deadly gravity. And then at the same time, you could have sub-Neptunes. They're going to be made of ice. They're going to be warmer, right? Because they're going to be closer to the planet, but they're essentially tiny gas giants. So it really just depends on what material they have to work with.
Yeah, and that's again why we need to be able to study, and you're going to do that, would be happening through like spectroscopy and analyzing the atmospheres and seeing what their composition is.
Yeah, I mentioned I mean, the next generation of telescopes, both the ground and the space-based ones. So you've got the extremely large telescope on the ground. You've got James Webb. They are going to be able to characterize these planets. They're going to be able to directly image a lot of these worlds and tell us what they are, whether they are, measure the atmospheres, figure out what's on the surface composition. And then that other telescope I mentioned, the Exo Life Finder, that actually gets built, it will be able to make a map of the continents
Yeah, that
of
looks
another
cool.
planet. Yeah,
That looks
so
really cool.
it's hard to sort of understand the scale. Like the biggest telescopes on Earth, like say the 10-meter Keck telescope or the 8.4-meter telescopes of the Very Large Telescope. You have 25 of them in a ring, right? Of the biggest telescopes on Earth. So there's a challenge there. But I'm gonna try and do some interviews with the people behind this project because it's pretty fascinating. I mean, let's build that. And they kickstarted their first initial design studies, which I thought was wonderful. So they're not waiting for anyone to give them approval. They just kickstarted I think they raised about $40,000 or something like that. And there's like a bunch of scientists and engineers behind it, but they just are getting to work, which I think is great.
And Kuden, I was actually gonna thank you for reposting that because I was scrolling up. So that makes it so much easier for me. Fraser, fairly technical question. Do you know much about PI drizzle integration?
No, know nothing about that.
I don't even know what that means.
It's something to do with astrophotography.
Oh, that sounds very. I'm not sure what to do with drizzle integration being one word.
Yeah, in PixInsight. I don't use PixInsight. I really should. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, my astrophotography is what picture can I take in 30 seconds? So I don't take long exposure pictures. I take the best possible short exposure pictures that I can.
Okay. Drizzle integration is very specific. Yeah, I've never even heard that. But I don't do astrophotography. I just like to look at things myself. It multiplies the pixels by 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a post-production that on your imaging that you do with a software like PixInsight.
Yeah, Bill says I'm still working out my driving my telescope from my chair with an iPad and a beer drizzle
integration. I would call it. Yeah. Yeah.
Fraser, I know Europe has some super telescopes in the works, but do you think it's possible after James Webb Space Telescope, of course, that the U.S. will try to make one?
Well, they are making a bunch of ground-based telescopes. There is the 30-meter telescope, which is going to be in Hawaii. There is the giant.
Are you talking about the one that's going to be on Haleakala? The one that's
yeah. So the 30-meter telescope, it's going to be on the Big Island.
It's going to be on Mauna Kea.
Yeah. And then you've got the Giant Magellan telescope, which is going to be in Chile. But a lot of these are international collaborations now. So Americans, Canadians are involved in some of these super big observatories. And then the big one is going to be the 39-meter extremely large telescope.
Yeah, the ELT.
That'll be in Chile.
And that's because I think they're replacing the solar observatory on Haleakala with a better.
I haven't been there. That's the one island that I haven't been to.
Oh, it's so cool. It uses some images to generate pixel between the pixel. Okay, I got you. Yeah, the ELT. I know. I wish they would just make the big, large telescope so we can all just get this over with and call it a BLT.
The BLT?
The BLT.
The big, large telescope?
Yes, the big, large telescope.
Yeah.
The VLA is getting older. Yeah, the Very Large Array is getting older. It's kind of sad. Yeah, it is.
Well, the square kilometer array is coming. So stay tuned.
Specifically my question is, my current setup is a undersampled at 4 by 0.4 inch pixel.
Yeah, it's all just gibberish to me.
Yeah. Although
I want to. And Dustin keeps going like, dude, you should take longer exposure pictures. Like, there's so many things to do. I would love to, but I just take the 30, the 30-second pictures, the 1 minute exposures, the ones that, that people can see in almost real time. And that's the niche that I'm in. It's a whole other set of skills to take those. Like, did you see Dustin's picture of was it the Dumbbell Nebula that he did 90 hours of integration?
No.
It's just a ridiculous picture, right? 90 hours. Like he just made his telescope take pictures of the same spot of the sky for weeks.
Well, where did he post that?
On his Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure other places as well. So that's like, I don't know. Do you want to do a star party where I take 90 hours of integration?
Who's got 90 hours?
Yeah.
Can we get a
Today,
link?
I'm going to take another 25-minute exposures, but you won't be able to see any of them because they'll be all, yeah.
We're just going to hang out, guys.
We're just going to hang out while I make this telescope. Take
Right.
picture after picture after picture.
The VLA has been upgraded in recent years, though. Advances. Yeah, they do. They can do this. Let's see. Someone's asking for a link of his Instagram.
Did you go to the VLA?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've been there. It's so cool.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Yeah. When my wife and I were evacuating her out of Texas, out of Louisiana, moving her to Canada, I designed the escape route, and we were able to make it through New Mexico and went to check out the very large array. It was so cool. Yeah. See, like
which one is
it? Well, just they're all great, but sure.
Yeah, they're all really good.
I'm sure you'll see it. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh my God, the horse head.
Just look for the dumbbell. There it is.
That's the
Oh no, not the dumbbell. It was the no, that's the pink one.
The Trifid?
No, the one on the right of the moon, the pink one there. That looks like the eye.
Yeah, isn't this the Helix? We took the Helix.
Yeah, sorry, not the dumbbell. That's it. That's the Helix. 90-hour exposure.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I mean, if you run a telescope company, you're a gigantic space nerd. You have access to the best technology around. Engineers there to help you set up and set up these observatories. Yeah, this is what you can do.
Yeah, he said the holy shit nebula.
Yeah. And like, when we take pictures of the Helix, you don't get any of that stuff, right?
Right.
You get just that ring in the middle, but none of that outer stuff that's going on there. No.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. So Dustin is like, I don't know. He's at this point, it's just ridiculous. He's got access to the best gear. People buy telescopes from him so that he can get better gear. It's like some kind of perpetual motion machine that he's set up.
That photo of the horse head's incredible.
All of them. Yeah. Dustin is becoming one of the best astrophotographers in the game.
Do you want to say in the world? And even so yeah, the sun. Oh gosh. Yeah. See, that's don't look directly at the sun, guys, but this is what the sun looks like through a solar telescope.
But I mean, but he is like such a wonderful guy and has been so helpful to the community and is just like, he just wants to help.
Oh yeah.
And he's been on our, done the star parties with us, supplied all this gear, and he just keeps wanting to help. So he just like, however he can get as many human beings to get into astronomy as possible, that's what he wants. So yeah, it's been a real pleasure working with him so far.
Yeah, I think that's the nice theme that kind of bonds all of us. But yeah, Dustin's been on here, guys. Backsmack, you said should bring him on here. He's been on here a few times when we do the virtual star parties, and I think we should try to aim for one maybe next week if we can.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
I mean, I was thinking of doing them Sundays. I think is the time that I was planning. Do you do a stream on Sunday nights at all?
I have the mini me. So
so you're
right, my daughter.
You're trying to like have a regular life on Sunday nights. Okay.
Yeah, Sundays. Yeah, it's the weekend.
Good.
I know. So Sundays are usually the days that I can't actually out of pretty much every other day, other day of the week.
Yeah. Well, I'm also like happy to run this. I'm happy to run the telescopes any night, right? I just need somebody to say to put my feet to the fire and say, hey, let's run the telescope tonight. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. So,
yeah. No, I think if we wanted to do any time through Wednesday through Saturday night, I'm available.
Okay.
So that's pretty open.
Yeah. Do you normally stream into the nights like that? I mean, it's much better now with the wintertime and the sun
Yeah,
going
the sun
down
goes
earlier.
down. Yeah,
So
early.
that's the part that's really hard for me. I'm such a morning person that
I know. I
staying up
know.
late just ruins me. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible astronomer.
I know. Well, it's so with usually on Tuesdays I don't stream out through because I have Dr. Paul usually earlier that morning. But Wednesdays through Saturday night, if it needs to be a night stream, I mean, people in
Yeah.
here, I mean, we have a lot of people even in the EU that
Yeah,
will stay
Saturday
up
night
to
would be
join
good.
us.
Maybe why don't we let's aim for like Saturdays.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, everybody staying up late is the life. Yeah, a lot of people know that here. Because I have a lot of people in the EU. So, but they'll stay up. They'll do it.
Well,
Hoot.
life
Good
is
times for
hard.
us in the EU.
Yeah. But the future plan is to have these telescopes in all the time zones. So eventually we can do this during the day, which is
Yeah.
what I want. I want to be able to, show up at 10 in the morning and
And be like, we're
start,
gonna, yeah.
and start observing the night sky.
Yeah. Props to the EU for staying up. Yeah, but you guys love this stuff. And I have again, like I try to have streams like during the day right now, there's going to be more people in the EU watching. But again, when we do the star parties, they stay up, they power through it with us. Yeah, that would be great. If we want to even do one this Saturday, we can. If you
I
want.
wish we lived on a flat Earth and had the
I
same time
know.
zone, right? It was so much easier.
I know.
The fact that we live on this round Earth and have to.
It's really annoying.
Yeah,
I wish
know,
we
it's
could see
super
the southern
tough.
sky.
You can never make everybody happy, right? Unless you stream all the time, I guess.
Right. But we'll observe the stream at nights. Yeah, and so what he's saying is that in the future, OPT wants to start opening some observatories on the other side of the pond from us here, so that we can be looking.
Yeah,
be
Australia,
daytime for us.
South Africa.
Yeah, and it won't be for you
Northern
guys in the
Hemisphere.
EU, right?
Yeah.
Or Australia. Yeah, like seeing the southern sky. In a way, when you go to Hawaii, you can actually see some of the southern sky, and that's pretty amazing.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, the southern sky is better, way better.
Yeah.
So people in South Africa, people in Australia, you have a much better view of the night sky than we do in the Northern Hemisphere. Although we have all the galaxies.
Right.
So that's where it sucks to be you. But because I have some friends that live in the Southern Hemisphere and I give them a hard time. Like one posted a picture of a galaxy. I'm like, well, you work with what you got.
Yeah.
Because, they don't have very many of the big bright galaxies down there.
Okay, so how do we know when a sky party is happening? Well, first, Fraser and I usually say, let's try to go for Saturdays.
Yeah.
And then we actually stick to that.
Then we get organized.
And then we get
do it.
organized.
Yeah.
And then, we reach out to Dustin. And, maybe we could do one next Saturday.
Yeah.
And I can actually, see if Twitch wants to put it on the front page.
So is that it? Did we just commit to next Saturday doing a star party? So not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that.
Yeah, just in case we don't, Dustin's like, wait, whoa, guys, whoa.
Well, I think that the telescopes are ready to go all the time at this point.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do one, if you want to do it, just kind of more laid back one, and then we could try. Well, I mean,
yeah. I would be into Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, next Saturday will be a full. It's always a full moon. It's fine.
Well, with the Southern Observatory, it didn't seem to matter much when you were doing it. Remember?
It's better. It's better when there's no moon, but
right.
But people will still be impressed by the kinds of pictures that we can take, even when the moon is full.
Are the star parties streamed here, or so when Fraser and I do them together, we usually do them here, but Fraser sometimes does them on his own channel too, on his YouTube.
I sometimes do them on YouTube. I'm sorry, it's not a really organized, accessible event yet. Right. I promise we will make this better.
Yes.
Next Saturday, Saturday after that. I don't know. We don't. If you have,
I'm open this Saturday. If you want to try this Saturday,
I think I have to confirm.
Okay.
With, various people in this household.
Okay.
But I can probably commit, and especially if it's in like 6 o'clock, right? Like we start.
Yeah.
Earlier because
the sun sets I mean, when I was up in the mountains, I remember because I just got away for a night, and I was thinking we just had dinner and we go outside and it's 5 o'clock and the sun's down, and what are we gonna do now? But luckily there's a lot of stars outside, so So this Saturday, so no, we're going to see about this Saturday. He's going to check in with this Saturday. If it seems good, then we'll do that, and we'll have it be a Saturday
days.
night. And don't worry, guys. I have Discord, I have Twitter, and I usually tag Fraser, especially when we're doing these virtual star parties and stuff. You guys will hear it from both of us. He'll either retweet it too if I tweet something about it. So we'll get that confirmed if we're going to do it this Saturday. If not, then most likely next Saturday. Or maybe both. Who knows? We should see. You guys don't get any answers. How does this feel?
Yeah. It will be random. It will just happen. Who knows? Sorry.
Yes. Maybe both. Yeah, maybe.
Both.
And
we don't know.
And I won't be able to run Stellarium though, unfortunately. My computer was chugging with it. So
Oh no, really?
Well, it's because OBS. OBS is a CPU hog. Once I can actually just get a computer, I don't need to get even a decent, like, I can run like a 970 video card, and I'd probably get a decent, I'd probably beef this one up and then just put some stuff just to run OBS on that, and then just have a dedicated computer for running everything else. So,
more subs.
More subs from Sweet Bro. But it is at the hour mark, and I don't want to take up much more of your time. So let me know, and I'm here. So let me know if that would work.
Yeah, like I said, I got nothing to do until March.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to say bye to Fraser.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
All at some point at a random time in the future.
Really soon.
Really soon.
All right. See you later.